Donald Trump thought he was walking into a friendly crowd. But what happened next was a brutal reality check for the former president. At the Commanders game, the boos were deafening, the thumbs down unanimous, and the humiliation total. For a man who built his image on crowd worship, this moment wasn't just awkward, it was symbolic of a collapsing political empire. And the irony? The same week Trump was being booed in public, his administration's economic and healthcare policies were being exposed for what they truly are: a war on working Americans. Let's start with the economy, because that's where Trump's America First illusion keeps falling apart.
Is we've got to deal with the issue of our time, that we have to democratize this economy if we're going to save democracy. You can't have 10% of people owning 2/3 the wealth in this country. You can't have that 30-year-old that's doing worse than his parents' generation for the first time in U.S. history. And so those are fundamental issues that were obviously present in this election on Tuesday. And Donald Trump got it for a moment and now is defensively suggesting he's solved it. Ask the folks on Amazon paying 12% more. Ask the folks at Target paying 5.5% more, or at Walmart 5.3% more. Ask you and me that went down to get coffee today 18.9% more than a year ago. Look at the cost of a pound of beef. Donald Trump said he would make us wealthier and healthier. We're poorer and sicker. And I don't want to see that sickness extend to ending our republic and our democracy as know it, particularly in the 250th anniversary of our founding fathers.
So while prices are soaring, Trump's answer isn't to fight for the middle class, it's to double down on protecting billionaires. His economic vision has never been about democratizing wealth, it's been about concentrating it. That's why he keeps slashing taxes for the rich while cutting lifelines for everyone else. And nowhere is that clearer than in healthcare.
Has called it a non-starter. Let me ask you, would you support a bill that would include a promise to vote on extending Obamacare subsidies? Is that something you could live with?
Let's understand that these Republicans have tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act more than 70 different times over the last 15 years. They're not acting in good faith as it relates to dealing with a healthcare crisis that they're visiting on the American people. This is the same group of folks who just enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history as part of their one big ugly bill. Hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health centers are closing all across the country, including in rural America, because of Republican policies. We're faced with the possibility of a $536 billion cut to Medicare at the end of this year if Congress doesn't act, connected to what they did in the one big ugly bill. And now they're refusing to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for even a year when they just enacted massive permanent tax breaks for their billionaire donors. Does that seem reasonable?
While Republican leaders fight to gut healthcare, hospitals are closing, and millions of Americans risk losing coverage, all while Trump brags about his record economy. This is why the boos at that stadium mattered. They weren't just about football. They were about frustration. Americans watching the cost of living climb while Trump and his allies pretend everything's fine. And then came the moment that perfectly captured his arrogance.
Welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, as the President swears in the seats of our United States military. Please raise your right hands. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear.
That bizarre "I am saying your name" moment wasn't just a slip-up, it was a metaphor. A man so detached from reality, so self-absorbed, he can't even read the room, or apparently his own lines. The crowd's reaction was instant: boos, jeers, and thumbs down from every direction. For a man who built his identity on cheering crowds and inflated approval ratings, that kind of rejection cuts deep. But it also says something bigger. The Trump show is losing its audience. The same working Americans he once conned with promises of greatness are now seeing the results: higher costs, gutted healthcare, and economic inequality worse than ever. Trump's presidency was always built on spectacle, rallies, applause, slogans. But the reality is finally catching up. The people who once filled stadiums chanting his name now fill grocery stores wondering why they can't afford basics like beef or coffee. The illusion is breaking, and no amount of propaganda can drown out the sound of those boos. The truth is simple. You can't feed a nation on lies. You can't build an economy by worshiping billionaires. And you can't expect cheers when your policies make ordinary Americans poorer and sicker. Trump can keep chasing applause, but the more he shows his face in public, the louder the truth becomes. The country has moved on, and the only thing left echoing in those stadiums is the sound of accountability catching up. Thanks for watching, and if you want real reporting that exposes what's behind the noise, make sure to follow the channel, turn on the notification bell, and drop your thoughts below. Because this isn't just politics, it's about fighting for an America that finally tells Trump we're done being fooled.